Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Mohammed. I'm here with another video, and in this video, I'm going to go through the answer key and explanation of a really hard to find IS reading passage 3. I have to say that I've received reports of this topic almost 5 years ago for the first time, and it's been the exam topic ever since. And one more thing is that this is the first time that I'm sharing that outside my own classes. As you see, the topic is practical learning in the classroom. Before we talk about the passage, if you haven't subscribed or left a comment or shared the channel with your friends, now it's the perfect time to do so, and I would appreciate that. The topic is practical learning in the classroom, and as you see, it has 9 paragraphs, uh, and the task types are multiple choice questions. Then we have gap fills with options. We have options A to H, and the last questions are yes, no, not given. Right, let's begin with the first question, question 27. As you see, question 28, let me tell you something about multiple choice questions. Uh, for multiple choice questions, either there's a word that helps you find the relevant paragraph. Like in the first one, we have the American Institute of Architects, which was mentioned the first paragraph. If you take a look at this part, you can find it here. Or when we don't have a keyword in the prompt, sometimes the paragraph number is given to you. Here, for example, question 28, it says the third paragraph. Question 30, it says in the eighth paragraph. And you see, there are two different forms of finding the relevant paragraph in multiple choice questions. So, question 27, it says, what education initiative does the American Institute currently promote? Okay, there is an idea that this association or organization promote. What is that? And let's read this part. It says in recent years, though the American Institute of Architects has fostered the idea that, okay, they have promoted the idea that the process of architectural design, not just appreciation of architecture, is a beneficial aspect of the art curriculum. So they talk about the importance of the actual architectural design, not just the appreciation of the art. So if you take a look at the options, the third option, option C, says the practice, the actual doing of designing architectural structures. This is the idea they promote, not just the appreciation of architecture. Question 28, it's relevant to the third paragraph. It says in the third paragraph, what problem does teaching architecture on art courses does the writer note? Okay, it talks about a problem about teaching architecture. So, if you take a look at this paragraph, let's read this part. I think that the answer is here. In the ongoing dialogue about architecture in the middle school art curriculum, many believe students should actually build the structure they design in their courses. We talked about it in the previous paragraph. It means the act of designing. Although technology and expertise required of modern architecture can prohibit students from actually realizing their designs. Okay, there is a problem, and the problem is the technology and the expertise needed in the modern world for the for making a plan or a design of a building, and it might stop them or private students from actually realizing their designs and making their design into action. So that's option B. It says students cannot always construct their designs because of technology and the expertise in the modern world. So the answer to question 28 is B. 29, because I've taken the passage already, I know where the answers are. But if you skim the text, you probably can find the answer to this one more easily. It says, "What is the greatest benefit?" right, for students that the writers see the traditional architecture project. I mean, what is the biggest benefit or merit of that? So it was mentioned in the fifth paragraph, right? Because here it talks about the benefits of this architecture project. And in the last line, it talks about some benefits, but the most important one, it says, but most significantly, this type of project-based activity motivates students to invest intellectually and emotionally in the outcome. It means they can rely on the outcome, both emotionally and intellectually. So that's A. Instead of outcome, we have the word end result, and personal connection is that emotional and intellectual investment. Question 30 is relevant to the eighth paragraph. So here it says, what is the purpose of the eighth paragraph? You know, whenever the question asks you about the purpose or why the author is making this point, you need to take a look at the whole paragraph and then decide what was the ultimate purpose of the writer. So we are going to take a look at the whole paragraph. It says small design and build projects such as this can be seen through to the finish when working with Earth in art uh, curriculum. Okay, I mean you can see the whole thing. A simple landscape feature such as a wall, uh, entryway, and arc can draw students into important aspects of design that involves the structures, interaction, people, surrounding landscape, and natural elements. The same project may provide an opportunity to focus on the chemistry of soil and the structural dynamics of construction. Design goal must guide students to involve traditional forms, consider formal aspects, and integrate math skills of measuring and estimating. As you see, the whole paragraph is trying to tell us that in one design we can integrate different things. For example, look at this sentence. It says the same project provide an opportunity to focus on the chemistry of soil and the structural dynamics. Or the sentence before that, it says um, a simple landscape can draw students' attention to other things. So the answer to this one is definitely B because it outlines multiple skills involved in one project. In one project, uh, they can have access to a wide range of skills. Question 31, it says, what does the writer say about the traditional building and the general population? Okay, um, for the general population, we have in the last paragraph, we have this word, many others in the community, right? Many others in the community and around, and also we have the word traditional building, uh, because the whole passage is about that. Here also in the next sentence, we said traditional earthen technologies. It says many others in the community and around the country share this renewal of interest in traditional earthen technologies. It is the connection to the cultural heritage that interests them and the quality of living with massive natural walls that attract others, and for others, the sustainability of the process and the minimal energy spent in construction. So if you see this part, it says people are willing to renew and refurbish um, the area, but with the traditional architecture. And they have some reasons for that. Some of them are interested in the cultural heritage side. Some others take a look at the sustainability. For others, what appeals to others is the natural walls. So it says, if you take a look at option D, it says people are attracted to earthen architecture for different reasons. These are the different reasons mentioned. And here it says they're interested in the traditional earthen technologies. Okay, now let's move on to the gap fills. The gap fills are easy to find because they're taken from this part, zoning. Zoni was mentioned in this paragraph for the first time, paragraph 6. This is the town of Zoni. Um, okay. It says the students in Zoni chose to renovate an old building which is now used for, okay, what is the current use of this old building they're working on? So it says behind our main high school building, there was a one-room Adobe structure which was once used for teaching. Now it serves as a place where old furniture could be kept. Okay, now this is a place where they keep the old furniture. So the answer to this one is D, storage, right? So D should be written in the space. Um, they came to an agreement that the building was worthy of rehabilitation. Okay, they came to an agreement. They agreed on the fact that it is worth of rehabilitation based on its functional something, right? For the first time, this paraphrasing of come to an agreement, it says many students agreed. Instead of worthy of, it says it was worth preserving and were enthusiastic about helping, but because of what? You need to take a look at the previous sentence, right? It says the building's design kept it relatively warm in winter, um, even without heating, due to its broad south face, and it stayed cool in the summer due to spacious ventilated attic and massive earthen walls. Okay, what fascinated them was the design of that. It was really special. It was warm in winter, cool in summer, and it was well ventilated. So, this one, the answer is C because design is option C. Okay. All right. We have one sentence here. We don't have to go through it. Here it says, through the course of the project, they earned where to locate something for the project. Okay. Instead of locate, here we can see the word, uh, okay, let's scan the passage. Through the course of the project, they learned where to locate something for the project. Okay, here it says she showed us where to find. Instead of locate, we have the word find. Local supplies of sand and clay for the plaster mix. So they need something for the project, and what do they need? They need local supplies of sand and clay soil. So it means they needed some, okay, F, resources. So F should be written here. They also work closely with a number of something on each step of the project. I mean, they had the chance of working with a group of people, a number of, let's scan the text again. Okay, it says to teach the traditional skills, Gasper and other local specialists joined us. So instead of joined, we have work closely and all right. That's experts A. Instead of specialists, we have experts. During the project, students were also given something to build useful skills. They were given something to build useful skills. Okay. They gave my class 3 full morning of intensive workshops. Okay, they gave them some workshops and on history and preservation as well as mud plastering technique, and the building got a new coat of traditional mud plaster. So they in order to learn some skills, they had some workshops or G training, right? That's G. Okay. Um, Now let's move on to yes or not given questions. The first question, it says the price of materials is one drawback or demerit to using traditional architecture. Means One drawback is the price of material. Okay, uh, if you take a look at paragraph 3, the middle of paragraph 3, it says here, it says traditional architectural materials, right? Such as earth, clay, and straw are cheap and easy to work with and readily available. So this part shows that they're not actually expensive, and that could be a drawback. They're quite cheap, and this is a benefit of them. So the answer is definitely no. Uh, Question 38. It says earthen structures can easily be built in all regions of the United States. I have to say that this one is not given because it only talks about this town of Zuni here in New Mexico, in the southwestern United States. Um, it talks about this town here, but it doesn't talk about, the fact that these structures can easily be built in all regions. I mean, nothing's mentioned about all regions or building these structures there. So the answer is not given. You don't have to search for it. Uh, 39, working with a traditional earthen structure can have physical benefits. Means these projects can also offer some physical benefits at the same time. So if you take a look at paragraph 5, here it says during the project, the student will get to know mathematics, understand chemistry, solve problem, work with classmates, and also exercise muscles. These exercise muscles means it's physically beneficial for the students. So that's definitely yes. And the last question, it says a traditional architecture curriculum is best suited to middle school middle school level students. Okay, means it's a good course for these students. I mean, these middle school level students, and the word curriculum was mentioned the last paragraph. If you can see curriculum here, and also middle school students here. Let's read these two sentences together. The value of Adobe in general is becoming more and more common, but little has been said about its value in the art curriculum until now. This experiment in Adobe construction, okay, Adobe the meaning of that is mentioned here. It's a mixture of mud and straw that is made into bricks and used for building. So it says the experiment in Adobe conservation with middle school students convinced me that traditional architecture deserves a place in the regular curriculum. Okay, it means it's a good idea to put it in the regular curriculum, but is it best suited to middle school students? We don't know. So that's definitely not given. And and that's everything I wanted to tell you about this passage. And if you have any question, just leave a comment. Otherwise, good luck.